make it a better place. It'll take creation.
Hi, this is Mary from Mary's Stamping Happenings, and today is Tips and Techniques Tuesday. Today we're going to be doing a technique that's called reflection technique or the mirror technique. That's using the same stamp to do two different types of stamping. And the products you're going to need today is you're going to need some of Stampin' Up's window sheets. And that's just plain acetate, plastic acetate for overhead projectors, things like that. And Stampin' Up does sell that. What else you're going to need is you're going to need some ink. I'm going to be using Early Espresso. You're going to be needing a bone folder or something that you can wipe over the acetate. I've got a piece of acetate here cut to 4.25 by 5.5 inches. You're going to need some neutral cardstock. I'm going to use Very Vanilla and Whisper White. I'm also going to be using some ink to color in, and I'm going to be using Old Olive, Pool Party, Marana Mist, and I'm also going to be using some stamping sponges. Today we're just going to be doing the technique and not the full cards. So the first thing you're going to do, and the stamp sets I'm going to be using is Horse Frontier and Lovely as a Tree. Again, Lovely as a Tree is probably my favorite one. I go to this one probably the most. So what we're going to do first off is we're going to do the reflection technique. That's where you're going to stamp first off here, and then you're going to stamp on the acetate and put it on upside down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Lovely as a Tree set, and I'm going to ink it up. And this one's a good one. You can use it like a mirror, putting it as a reflection in a pond, a lake, or even on ice if you want to use your crystal effects, and it goes really well over blue and looks like ice, and you'll have the reflection on the ice. Okay, so we're stamping that first. You see then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking the acetate, and I'm going to be stamping on the acetate as I just stamped on that. And what I'm doing is just stamping it right like that on the acetate, making sure it's down good. And you can see the image is right there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to match it up, putting the trees under the trees. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and just going to go over it so it transfers right back on to the Whisper White as a mirror image. Make sure you go over it, all the way over it, that your ink will be there. And there you go. You have the mirror image. And now to make it look like a real nice mirror image, we're going to be using some Marana Mist, and we're going to make some water here. This is going to be a lake with the trees that are going to be imaged in the lake. And we're going to use a little sky and a little pool party in the sky. And then some grass. Put a little Old Olive as grass. can do that as the trees also. You can have more of a gray, or you can have a fall one. There you go. Got a beautiful scene there. And now all you have to do is mount that onto a card, and it will look something like that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our acetate, and we're just going to take, gotta figure out what side, just take a wet cloth and we're going to clean it off. Water is fine. And we're going to dry it, and I'm just going to dry it on my blue jeans. Okay. And what we're going to do this time is we're going to take the early espresso, and we're going to do a mirror technique. That's this one. And we're going to have those two horses touching noses. So the first thing, again, we're going to do is we're going to ink up the stamp, and we're going to stamp it this time on Very Vanilla. And there we go. These are two friendly horses, and they want to say hello to each other. So we're going to, again, ink up the stamp, and this time, again, we're just going to stamp it on the acetate, just like that. This is the mirror part of this. Instead of doing a reflection, it's going to be a mirror. So we're going to put it nose to nose. Those two horses are going to be nose to nose. And again, we're just going to go over it all with a bone folder. There you have your second horse. And again, a little Marina Mist for the sky. You could also do this in watercolor and watercolor it. And then we're just going to have some grass. And there you go. And again, you can use this, mount this on a card. It's a great technique. It can be used for anything. So again, the reflection or mirror technique. Thanks for visiting Tips and Techniques Tuesday and Merry Stamping Happenings. Happy stamping!
Hey, if you wanna play, make it about a place.